welcome to August 8th. It's literally about 2 hours since I finished uploading the water room vlog, which you should be watching right now if it's August 8th for you. Of course, the time you see this vlog, it ain't going to be August 8th, so you will probably have already seen it. And we're out in the shop with our next project. The water wall. This is a fairly old prop. It needs some upgrading. First off, the brickwork doesn't match the new brickwork for the water room. So that all has to be taken off. We have to put new foam on and carve out, more carving. Carve out the new pattern on it. So we've got to do that. If you look at this panel here, you'll notice down the edge that it's getting curved. So I need to replace the panels on those. Carve out new foam panels, and the framework needs to be replaced because it's bowing. It's getting harder and harder to get them to match up. There's also a bracket on the back of them made out of wood that I used to mount the windshield wiper motor. It drives the fan blade. That needs to be replaced. So I've got some stuff to do on those. On here, I need to take a closer look to it. With those there, I just got regular mounting screws on there to hold the panels on, like I do with the walls, the screws and the washers. So those will come right off. But on these two, because of their size and everything, I Gorilla Glued the foam on to some plywood and then attached the plywood to the frame. There is, I think, a little bit of framework, and I know the plywood's getting a little iffy in spots too, just because from all the moisture in the water room. So may end up having to redo the plywood and maybe maintenance the frame. I gotta get them up on the table and get a better look at them from behind. And then we've got the foam to carve and paint, and then this project will be done. With it being August 8th, we start setup September 6th. That's the amount of time I've got to get this project done. Oh, so Ian just called dinner. It's a little bit after 6. We've made a little bit of headway on the water wall. This is the framework for the water wall. Here, this is the left side of it. We've gotten both sides stripped down. There's the old front pieces. I was careful taking those off because I need to get the layout of that circle just right. I want to be able to put that piece up on this piece once the foam's on, so I could trace out the circle, what have you. So I kept them over there. Then I had to drag out the old table saw, and I'm going to be dragging it out again further on into the project. And I got a sheet of plywood out, and we got it cut down to fit for the most part. Got the foam cut to fit for the most part. And I've got the right side all glued up. Now I know I did something I'm going to regret. On that piece, on the old pieces, I glued the foam to the plywood. And then ran a screw through the foam into here, into the framework, to mount it to the framework. My thinking was, like now, if I ever need to replace it, I just back the screws out and, what have you. This time, I decided not to do that. The framework is still in pretty good condition. I did have to put a few new screws in to hold the pieces and stuff together. But to help firm it up, steady it up, I decided to Gorilla Glue the plywood on and then attach it with screws, which means down the road, if I need to redo the front, I'm going to have to redo the framework and everything. But this water wall held me, or lasted me 6 years at least, 5-6 years. But anyway, we're gluing the plywood on it. Now I'm coming back through with Gorilla Glue and gluing the foam on too. And those screws you see on the panels over there will come out tomorrow after the glue's dried. So I can get the carving process and stuff done. But I'm going to go in and get dinner when I get back out here after dinner. We'll get the plywood and the foam on, so this panel's like that panel. Then we can set it off to the side and it can dry overnight. And I might doink around with the back piece that holds the framework. It's behind that foam there. Either that or I'll wait till tomorrow to do it. One of the two. Well, welcome to day 2. We made it to day 2. Last night I got to the point where I had the front wall, which is out there, all reassembled and all the pieces glued up, and I let it set overnight. Glue's dry, they're ready to be worked on. But while they were drying last night, I got started on these. I have 2 of them. One here, another one out there. These are the back wall that hold the fan blade that actually moves. And the foam came off fairly easy. I just put it on screws. I didn't have any backer board on it. The walls needed, or the panel or partition panels needed some work. The outside rails had started to warp and what have you, and it was getting harder and harder each year getting them to go together and line up straight and everything. So I got those replaced. Also, these 2 blocks of wood here I've got fastened. There's another one on the other panel. That's where the windshield wiper motor that drives the fan blade sets. They were getting pretty chewed up as well, so I got those replaced. We got all that done, and in fact I finished off doing the repairs on this morning. And I just got done getting the shop cleaned up, the saws put away, but I got all the pieces for the skinning and stuff on these that need to be done. I'm going to get that done now because there's going to be gluing involved, and then we'll set these 2 off to the side and get the front panels in here and continue working on them while these dry. And I can finish these off tomorrow, hopefully get the pattern sketched on them, and we'll be ready for carving. Okay, I got the fan panels, or those are what I call the 2 wall pieces that hold the fan, done. They're back there in the back. You see a little bit of one of them drying. Since then, I've been working on the fountain wall. This is the front. This is what everybody sees. I got the screws out of the foam, which you can't see because it's upside down. I got the hole cut, and there's a grill work that goes over this section here. And I got a hole cut here. This is where the feed for the fountain portion sticks through, and I hook a hose to it and it leads down below to the pump that pumps the water up. So these are all totally reconstructed. I wish I could say I was done. I'm not. Now I got the fun part. I got to lay out the pattern, and I got to carve the pattern. And like the walls, it's going to take a while. But it's going to be the same pattern as on the walls. So, okay, it's going on about 8:40 on day 2. I'm calling it quits for the day. We've gotten actually quite far. We got the pattern laid out on the front piece, the hole cut, the hole for the fountain and what have you. So technically that's ready for carving. But I'm going to think about it tonight, and I might make an adjustment a little bit on the pattern before I start carving. I'll do that tomorrow. On the fan wall, I just got done getting it all cleaned up. I do not have the pattern drawn on it yet. That I will do tomorrow. I did get the hole board for the shaft for the fan. I need to clean that up a little bit. I'll do that tomorrow. And if you notice, down there, I got a hole there and a hole there. I did that on purpose because this sits in the pond as well, and I need to be able to allow water flow to get in behind this panel because that's where the pump sits. So, hence the holes. And no one sees it anyway because it's on the ground behind here, and no one's close enough to look down the hole and say, hey, there's 2 holes down there. You know, no one's going to be able to, has ever been able to do that. But these here are ready now for carving. Or not carving, but to have the pattern drawn out, and then they'll be ready for carving. But I think we are going to make an adjustment or two on that piece there before I start carving too. So that will be tomorrow, day 3. And let's see where we get to, huh? Well, here we are, day 3. Project is moving right along. I've been out here since about almost 9 o'clock this morning. It's going on noon. It's time for lunch. And I figure I'd give you an opening segment. We got adjustments made to the water wall. Had to redo some of the pattern here and there a little bit. It's ready for carving. I just got done laying out the fan wall. So now it is ready for carving. So far, we've gone through, gotten the old skins off. We've done maintenance on the frames. We've got new plywood, new foam, attached, glued, and dried, and we've gotten the pattern laid out. Now it's carving. I don't know how fast this is going to be. I know with the wall panels I did, they took forever to do. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a couple-day process to get these carved. I don't know if I'll do a day 4 vlog or not. I don't know. Or a segment, I should say. Well, I believe it's day 4, and we've come a long way. A lot faster on this project than I thought we would. Got here yesterday. We got those carved along with the other little miscellaneous things. And there's 2 panels. They're just one stacked on top of the other. And we finished off yesterday working on this one. I pooped out. I didn't get it finished. But I'm halfway done. That leaves that one to carve and the rest of this one to carve. Then we should be able to get into heat treating today, I hope. Some good progress made today. We got all the panels not only carved, but heat treated. Both the fountain wall and the fan wall. They're totally done, ready for painting. Now, I've got to wait a good hour or so for them to dry. I do my heat treating. I use water, and there is water here and there on them. I need to let them sit for an hour, maybe 2, and let that water dry up on them before I try shooting my white primer coat on them, or it's going to look funky. So I figured it's just a little bit after 5. I finished these just a little bit before 5. Dinner's at 6. I figure after dinner I'll come out and I'll get the primer coat shot on them. And then we can get into adding the colors. The purple, the orange, the green, the gray. And we'll go from there. In the meantime, I've got 2 small quickie projects. One, these blocks here. These are off the old water wall. This is where I used to mount the fountain. Well, they need to be cleaned up. So I was going to run them over my belt sander, clean them up before we get them painted. That I can do. It won't take all that long. The other one is with the fountain. There's where the pump hooks up to. I run a hose from this down to the pump. That's also what goes in this little hole here and sticks out the back. But anyway, water comes in here, fills up this pipe, fills up that pipe, fills out that pipe, and then fountains out through the little nipples there. Or in the case of the top pipe, holes I've drilled in there. Now the top one works fine. These bottom nipples, on the other hand, like that one there, you can see it's clogged. We had a bunch of them clogged last year. And I just never got in. I didn't feel like going waiting to clean them. So we're going to go through and clean the nipples up, which is basically taking a pair of pliers to hold them steady, because they don't turn, and then taking a drill with a small drill bit on it and running it through the holes to clean up the holes. And we're going to go through both sides and do that. Both of these projects ain't going to take long. I'll be done by dinner. And then after dinner, we'll come out and hopefully get the primer coat on these 4 panels. And then tomorrow, after I'm done with my work in the morning, we'll get out here and start getting some of the purple, maybe the orange shot tomorrow too. I'd like to have this project done next. Well, another segment. I have no idea what the day count is. I really don't care what the day count is. All I know is I just got done with work and it's 2 o'clock. I've been at it since about 8 o'clock this morning and I'm exhausted already. We made pretty good progress. As you can see, things are looking white. But we got in yesterday. We had that panel there was halfway carved. We got it finished. Got that one carved, came back through. We got heat treating done on everything. And then last night after dinner I came out and sprayed the primer coat on everything. Which means it's time to start adding color. Which I am going to be doing now. And like with the wall panels, we're starting on the grout lines first. That means purple. So I'm going to go through and get the purple sprayed on. And then I might come back through and get the orange on as well, which is in the damaged areas. Past that, I think that'll be it for today. Tomorrow's a work day, so I'll be out of town selling fruits and veggies to people over on the coast, and probably won't be doing much in here. In fact, I won't be doing anything in here tomorrow, so it'll be Monday before I'm out here again. But we're getting there. I'm getting close to having, well, definitely some good progress. I just got done getting the orange done. For part day, we didn't do too bad. We got the purple done, and we got the orange done. And they both need to dry real good. I went ahead and did the orange while the purple was wet, instead of letting it dry overnight. If you can't tell, I'm anxious to get this project done. Since I'm going to be out of town with work tomorrow, there will be no work out here in the shop. So these will have a chance to get nice and dry. Monday when we come in, we've got to get the gray on, which will clean up the orange. I'm going to have to sand the ring down. Swan and I were talking. We're going to do a fluorescent green on that, I think. And I got to get the grout lines on the ring painted too, and that's done by brush. And I'll do that when I'm going over second coating the purple. We're getting close to being done. Hey there, peeps. Welcome to Monday evening. I'm just getting ready to call it quits. Forgot to grab the camera earlier. It's been a very busy, hot day. We got our work errands done this morning. Got home about 11. It was 90 degrees. Had to mow the yard, edge the yard, blow the driveway, and clean Kaylee's pool. By the time we got done with that, it was 98. I got to noticing the big tree out in our front yard. Had a bunch of suckers, coming off the top. And every year before we set up the hunt, I always go through and kind of get all that trimmed up and what have you. So I spent a half hour, 45 minutes doing that. Got that done. So we got a little bit of hunt prep done. Then I came out into the shop, and that's what we ended up with. I do believe, if I remember right, on Saturday we left you with the primer, the grout lines, and the orange in the damaged areas. We went ahead, got the gray on. By the time we got done with the gray, it was 101. The gray dried in about 30 minutes. I let it sit for about 2 hours. While it was drying, I started some hop prep for Swan's display, the tube hallway. And if you remember right, over there inside the circle on the table, I had a whole stack of wood, and the wood's all gone now. That's because I was doing these. Right now, just little blocks of wood. This is what we use to hang all of Sue-Ann's tubes. I still need to come through and drill a hole on both ends of it so we can put the screw through so we can attach this to the ceiling. I will do that at some point here in the next day or two. But I did that while the gray paint dried. My next step, which I just got finished, was the red, the magenta, the green, and the yellow. By the time I got done messing with those, it was like a half hour till dinner. That there took about an hour and a half, almost. Let's see, what time is it now? 8:30, and I got out here at 6:30 or so. So it took about 2 hours, and I got them to that state. So I waited till after dinner to do it. Now those are almost dry now. It's been about 15 minutes. This is, the last panel here is still a little tacky. The first two I did over here are dry. But I'm just going to let them set. I need to get out of the heat. I've been out in it all day long. Tomorrow, we got to go out and do grocery shopping in the morning. But when we get back in, I've got to go through each panel, touch up the gray, touch up the orange. Let that dry, then we're going to come back through here and give the grout lines a second coat. And if you notice on the circle there, the bricks, here I'll zoom in because I'm too lazy to get up, do have grout lines that have not been painted yet. I'm going to do that by brush. So when I'm touching up the grout lines, I'll do that as well. And then we can let it dry. At that point, the only thing I have left to do are those gray blocks there. That's the blocks that mount to the outside of it to hang the fountain. And I'll cover how I'm going to get those attached when I get to that point. Still got gray and orange to touch up, and then the grout lines to do. That will come later. But with today being Monday, and as far as I am, I should be almost done by Tuesday, if not permanently done on Wednesday with this. And then this project will be done. So let's see where we get to tomorrow. First off, it's hot out here. I just checked the my weather app on my phone, 102. Which means it's about 104 to 105 here in the shop. Been out here for a couple hours. Just went through all the panels, got their touch-ups done. The only thing I have left to do is the grout lines and these here. I've got 4 of them. These are the blocks that mount on the front there that the fountain attaches to. When I'm doing the grout lines, I can mount those too. And then the panels will be dry. They can dry overnight. And we can get them put away tomorrow. Now to get those blocks back on, they have to be mounted in a certain spot or the fountain doesn't work well or won't mount up right. Now when I took them down, I went through and I measured, wrote down the measurements and stuff. And I'm sitting there working on this and I'm thinking, that was a total waste of time. I didn't need to measure. I saved, this is the old front wall, and you can tell here where this white section is. That's where one of the blocks attached. So all I need to do is cut this section out for each block on on this panel and its mate over there. I can take that, lay it down on top of that, and just trace it out, and then I get the blocks exactly right where they were on the original panels. Takes a little bit of work because I got to drill out the white spots, the white areas. But I'll do that here in a bit. Right now, I need a break. I need to cool off. And Kaylee needs her walk. And then once I've cooled off and Kaylee's had her walk, I'll come out, I'll get these white areas on both panels cut out, and we'll get the get it traced out on the wall panels, and then we'll come back through here and get the purple done, mount the blocks, and for the most part be done. Okay guys, we are done. Water wall is converted over and 100% finished. I just got done redoing the grout lines with her second coat. They need to dry, and then come morning, I can get them put away and they're out of here, and I can get the shop cleaned up. Now, as to the water room, we are going to have kind of an oddball item in there this year. The video pumping station. Technically, should be my next prop to work on, because I got to get converted over to that pattern. Right now, it's still the old pattern, the small red brick. Problem is, that is just not a converting over. It's a total rehab. We're going to use a lot of the parts and pieces off the old video station and redesign a totally brand new one, which is going to require me to buy some materials and stuff, and it's probably going to be about a month to a month and a half long project to rebuild that damn thing. It is, what is the date today? The 15th of August. We've got about 2.5 weeks until we start setting up, so there's just no time, no way in hell I'd even be able to get it done in time for this year's haunt, not with setup coming up on the 6th. So that's going to have to wait until after haunt season, and the video pumping station is going into the water room this year. It's just going to have the old brick pattern. I don't know how badly it's going to clash with the new wall panels and the new water wall, so it will be interesting. Now, as far as vlogging goes, I have a ton of small items I need to work on, like the tub of sticks down there. I need to get the holes drilled into them. But, you know, I'm classifying this as prep work prior to setup. Just a lot of little miscellaneous things that need to get done so I don't have to do them while I'm setting up. Which saves time, a lot of time out in the haunt, actually. I've got basically 2.5 weeks to do it all in, and I'll probably be done within a couple of days on a lot of it. But I'm not going to vlog it. So effectively, this vlog that you are watching is the last official vlog for prop building from the Haunted Tents. The next vlog you should be getting right now is scheduled for September 6th, late in the evening, and it's going to be the day one setup of the Haunted Tents. I think last year we took 40 days or something like that to get set up, 43 days, around in there somewhere. So we're getting ready to start on the ride, guys. If I'm lucky and things go right, I might be able to start set up a day or two early. The 6th, September 6th is a Wednesday. I do know Monday we're busy with work errands and stuff, and we won't have any help with putting up the big tent. And Tuesday's the same way. We're going to be awfully busy with things. Wednesday's the first clear day I have, and our neighbors are going to come over and give us a hand. So, yeah, we'll probably be, the first setup video will be on the 6th. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be up on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. Also, day one might be interesting this year. We're going to open it up with some fast forward footage like we always do on day one of the big tent going up. But there's an extra added twist to it this year. The big tent will not be going in its normal spot. We do have 3 tents going up on the grass. One of them is going to be in a different location. And if we have the energy, the mausoleum will also be going up, opening day. So, it ought to be interesting. With that, I'm going to say see you later. See you on the 6th. Stay spooky. Stay toxic.